And I'm going to say this with pride and passion. Nobody, and I mean nobody, will ever bring the energy, the charisma, the passion, the expertise, the talent, and whatever else you want to call it, like you seen Kelvin Hunter and my ex, Wendy Williams, and the team that was behind us. And I mean the whole team. That includes my current lady now. Because it takes a village. And I'm going to say it. Yeah, I said it. Whoever don't like it, they just ain't going to like it.
Everything. Wendy Williams and Klepto Kevin. That's what I'm calling him. Because that man has been siphoning money from that woman the whole darn time. And talking about he ain't got no money now to pay his bills. Listen. For 15 years out of the 25 they were married, he was whining and dining and bought a whole damn house for this woman. And I've seen the house, very nice house. Y'all, okay. We're going to talk about that messiness, but you know if I'm going here, I'm also talking some personal development. 3 things that I'm going to focus on where Miss Wendy Williams is concerned that we can all learn from. I'm pointing out her codependence, her exceptionally high tolerance level for foolery, especially for men. Ooh, something too many women have. And she said herself that she never wanted to disappoint. And it is the story of her life. Oh, that sets you up to put yourself in a position for other people to take total advantage. We're gonna talk about it.
So she's out there delivering hot topics. She now becomes the hot topic.
There was nobody to call. She thinks we're giving a affair, but an affair with a baby, that's it. Wendy talked to me about God is punishing me for talking about people.
Hi, my name is Zara Green, and I'm glad you're here. What I do over here is all things personal development, and lately sprinkled in with some spirituality. Don't say nothing about me doing this messy shit. Sometimes it involves some of this, and you are here because you like it. So come on, let's just roll with it. And if I'm doing this messiness, then I'm certainly going to have some personal development in here. Let's start with Klepto Kevin. They were married for 25 years. 15 of that 25 years, Kevin was involved with this woman, Sharina. Interesting, their names are so close, right? Hudson and Hunter. Kevin Hunter, Sharina Hudson. Anyway, 15 out of 25 years.
Oh, Kevin was a serial cheater. Kevin had different mistresses depending on, the part of his life. This last one was the one that he had the longest term relationship with.
Wendy knew it. Let's go ahead and go there first because y'all know I don't give passes. But she was really trying to work on the marriage and da-da-da-da. She knew the whole time. And then she hired a private investigator. So she found out everything she needed to know, and she could have done that at any time. But Wendy is one of those women, and perhaps you are too, who believes that men just have appetites. And you just let them go ahead because marriage is forever. And you just go ahead and ignore all the signs and allow them to go and do whatever and hope they come back around. Well, everybody's always practicing is what I'm going to say to that. Everybody is always practicing. If it's okay for them to go on and do whatever, then know that you are giving permission for them to go and practice. Now, she may not have ever said, Kevin, go and practice, but there was no time she did not know, make no mistake, because she's far from stupid. In fact, she's a very, very intelligent woman. Not the same as smart, by the way, but she's a very intelligent woman. She knew exactly what was going on.
If the question was asked to you, do you still have love for Wendy?
Of course. Of course. Of course. I have an enormous amount of love for her. And I want to see her succeed. And I want to see her find love again. I take accountability for my role. But what I needed at the time, because I was running 100 miles an hour, and I was so much of a strong support structure for her and all the dreams that she wanted to accomplish, I needed somebody for me. And my new offspring, my daughter, who is a beautiful, beautiful spirit. She was not a oops baby. She was not a mistake baby. She was what I wanted. And if you ask me, did I want the same with my ex-wife? Of course.
Of course, he says. Let's talk about Kevin and the state of their affairs right now. Kevin is looking for alimony checks. Since Wendy's show stopped, she's no longer working. She doesn't have anything coming in. And she's been done dirty, y'all. If you look back at any of these, look back at these blogs that are really pulling all of the documentation to see, you know, when Wells Fargo held up her money, who her team members are, what kind of things they're doing. You know, it's Hollywood, y'all, Hollyweird. There's no telling who's doing what for what reasons where she's concerned, right? So here's what Klepto Kevin says. He talks about how he's behind on all his bills, credit cards, homeowners association. Still trips me out. He bought a whole house that he used their money for. Now, as a manager, should he get paid? Absolutely, he should have gotten paid. But y'all ain't gonna tell me that man was not siphoning money from Wendy. Kevin has clearly paid for Sharina to have different certificates and to be able to work and to earn. This woman was a kept woman. We know about the apartments and all the other things he's done for her. She's driving her luxury vehicles. But we're going to talk about some of the stuff that Sharina did that put this right in Wendy's face. Sharina knew exactly what she was doing. That girl decided, no, I'm just waiting for the right time to break up this home. I am just going to sit back, live pretty. And remember, she was young. If she's only 32 now, she was 22 years old when they started. Hell, maybe even younger. Hell, what would you know at 20? Well, I knew not to be involved with a man. Well, anyway, this ain't about me. Ain't about you either. Let's get back to them. Sharina. She's shady, yeah. So here's the straw that broke the camel's back for Wendy. When Sharina pulled up in a Porsche, a black Porsche in her driveway, and she just happens to be sitting, she's home, she just happens to be sitting in a window where she can look outside. She sees the car pull up. She is watching this. The woman gets out. She sees the woman's pouch. She sees that she's pregnant. In that moment, she says she's devastated because while she could always tolerate him having other women, what she could not tolerate was him having a baby. You think Sharina didn't know that? Sharina said, okay, now it's time to wreck this home. Up until now, I was cool being kept. I was cool being second. I was cool doing all of this. Now it's time to bring this thing to a close. Now I got my house. Now I got my man. Now I got my baby. And it's time to shut her down. And she decided she was playing for keeps. And she knew because Kevin told her that their lifestyle would remain. So she came to collect, honey. And in coming to collect, she shut Wendy down almost to her death. Y'all can call her home wrecker if you want. Wendy's home was wrecked long before that woman came. Kevin has even come back after that saying the baby wasn't a mistake. Wendy said she'd been pregnant before. I don't know how many times. Something tells me I heard more than one. But this time, they decided to keep the baby. These people had a plan, y'all. What we do know is that Wendy was not all there was, and the fact that she is so devastated. Yes, she knew he cheated. She said he had people throughout. Shame on her for keeping him while that was going on. But this goes to her codependence. She, as good as she was at what she did, her insecurities are screaming. She did not want to be alone. This was not a woman who wanted to be alone. And a lot of times when you grow up in two-parent households, I did. You grew up in two-parent households, then you will oftentimes carry that and feel obligated to do what your parents did. But we've got to, y'all, stop looking at the length of relationships and look at the health of relationships. I don't know what her parents' relationship was like. What I do know is that it was okay with Wendy. And we got to stop saying that people settle, because maybe people just meet your expectations. I'm thinking Kevin just met her expectations. She didn't expect any more from a man. And if you don't expect a man to be anything other than a cheater, and you believe you need to give them passes, and you think that they can't control their urges, then that's pretty much what you end up with. And then after she had him intermingled in her life the way she did, then she just took that as a whole package deal. Then she had Lil Kevin, and then she had all kinds of other things going on with that too, because she'd lost the kids or wasn't able to bear them for whatever reason. And then when Kevin came along, she saw him as a blessing. She wanted to keep her family together, which meant she tolerated a whole lot more because she had already decided that marriage was forever, that they were a package deal, that they were together forever. These were all the stories she made up. So codependence needs some serious scrutiny. You need to, first of all, know when you are codependent. People call love codependence all the time. It ain't. You know, I meant the other way around. People call codependence love all the time. So Klepto Kevin says that he is behind on all of his bills, his credit cards, his homeowners association, and then he says there's some hip replacement, something or another he needs to have that he doesn't have insurance for. And so he needs to get his money to be able to pay for those things. I don't know what's happening with Wendy and why that's all tied up or if it's going to be loosed. But there is a part of me that is sitting back like, isn't this interesting? Because if it's not for Wendy and that's what he's fixed his life on for the past 25 years, then what's next? Listen, things are changing for all of us, y'all. The things that used to work. Here's a lesson from Kevin, okay? The things that used to work are the things that you did to make money. If those things aren't working anymore, then here's where spirituality has to come in, and you got to grow. We got to stop being so fixed and focused on other people's business to keep us occupied and see what we need to do, look inward, see what we need to do in order to make the adjustments, because same for me. I ain't talking to y'all about nothing that ain't the same for me. The things that used to work ain't really working. So when that happens, what do? Well, I'm excited about making adjustments and growing. Listen, this is life school. We came to learn and grow, and we chose this time to be here. I know a lot of y'all like, what you mean we chose this time to be here? Yeah, that's some of the spiritual stuff. See, y'all tap in for this messiness. Don't just stay here for the messiness. Go get some of that spirituality too. All right? Because life is about to get tighter, so we got to get better at playing this game, baby. This is the game of life. Kevin says he needs his money to maintain his livelihood. His livelihood, which also means the livelihood that he has provided for Sharina for the past 15 years. His next family's livelihood. So Wendy, you need to get it together, loose my money so that you can take care of you, our son, and me and my new family. Yes, it damn did. Whoo! What just went through my New Orleans 17th Ward head, it's just criminal. If y'all haven't seen the documentary, I suggest you do. She's very open and vulnerable, and it was really painful to watch, actually. To watch this woman who put up with so much because her intention was to keep their family together forever. She was hoping that these were just flings. Y'all, a fling doesn't last 15 years. So she knew what was happening. Wendy she's an intelligent woman. She's not stupid. She knew, but she was not emotionally intelligent enough to look at life beyond the ideal. I'm telling you, these institutions, y'all, these institutions that are governing your life is also ruining your life when it boils down to you deciding based on them rather than based on you as a priority. It ain't gonna be me. The codependence. Tolerance. No, you don't be so tolerant that what you are tolerating is not just disrespectful to yourself, unhealthy to yourself, and then you allow some things to continue that is not just detrimental to your mind and your emotions, but to your finances and your life. No. So we gonna learn from this. And the last thing is she never wanted to disappoint anybody. That included Kevin. She didn't want to disappoint Kevin. That's why he was such a monster when it came to making deals. He ordered her around. She didn't want to disappoint him, regardless of what he was doing to her. Hell with disappointing people. Get to the point that you love you so much that you will not tolerate any kind of disrespect, any kind of dishonoring, and anybody who will not esteem who you are, especially when you are the queen of whatever your genre is. This woman was the queen of talk, gossip, mess. That was her life. And at the end, he made sure that she was the one who was talked about. But if she had been true to herself, she would have seen that coming, and I think she did. But she was running for as long as she could, to hold on to the illusion for as long as she could, to try not to be the headlines. Now, there are a lot of people who say there was no way for her to be anything other than a headline the way she drugged for everybody else for so long. I personally don't believe in karma that way. I don't believe that karma is that linear. I actually believe that Wendy excusing so many things for so long is why things ended up the ways that they did. There are a whole lot of messy people out here whose lives don't end up quite like that. Wendy's done a phenomenal job of keeping that stuff out of the public eye. And it's because she turned a blind eye. But to what expense? What did it cost her? Don't do that. And then, y'all, while she was going through all of that, before her show actually ended, both her parents, a week apart, had a stroke. Her father first, then her mother. And then since then, going through all of that, her mother's passed. You know, the woman has felt alone. During the documentary, she talked about how she had nobody. Here's why she didn't have anybody.
There was nobody for me to call for a second opinion. There was nobody to call.
She knew that anybody she called would say, Wendy, why are you tolerating this? Leave him. She didn't want to hear that. In fact, what she said is that, what do you mean leave him? I'm in love with him. He is my husband. 25 years together, 15 years. He's clearly in more commitment to this other woman than he was to her, except for business. But she is saying she was still in love with him. That's a woman who turns a blind eye, who does not look at reality. She's needed help for a long time, and I really hope she's able to get the help that she needs now. I don't know what her situation is in this space. What I do know is that Klepto Kevin ain't right. That boy heart ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't right. He knew this was going to devastate this woman. Listen, she's still a legend. She's a legend in her genre, and I respect her for being a legend in her genre. I really hope she's able to get it together. I hope that Kelvin and Sharina really are able to be happy and go on with their lives. I don't know how this is all going to pan out with their money. It's their money, however it pans out. Wendy stayed in there as long as she did. If she ends up having to pay this man, hey, it was worth it to her to stick it out. It ain't nothing I'm going to ever understand, but it ain't my life. All right, that's all I got for you. It's your life. Choose it just as it is. Own it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Change it. As long as you can breathe and learn, it can get better. From somewhere out here in these Latin American streets. Ciao for now.